Ted's neck for me. Not even on the clock yet. It's earning his keep.
Do I have two of the same? Oh, we had a 5 p.m. and a 6 p.m.
That's good.
All right.
Thank you for getting this done quickly. I appreciate it.
Which one?
All this.
Okay, let's go.
Everything you're doing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Clay Township Board, Tuesday, June 28th. Call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Please rise for the pledge. Mary?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This is going to be an interesting meeting, a long meeting. Thank you all for coming. First things first, and it's my honor to read this. I'm going to read in a resolution into the record. Whereas the Township Board of Clay Township, Hamilton County, Indiana, met a duly called and authorized meeting of the board on a date set forth below. Such meeting being called pursuant to a notice stating the time and place, purpose of the meeting received by all board members, and the following resolution was made, seconded, and adopted by those present at the meeting, which constituted a majority of the board. Whereas Assistant Chief James K. Martin, Jr. has had a long history of public service as a firefighter with the Carmel Fire Department since October 26, 1965, and as the Assistant Fire Chief of the department from January 1st, 1970, until his retirement in 1996. And whereas James K. Martin, Jr. was a master firefighter in EMT and was called upon on numerous occasions to serve as the acting fire chief of the Carmel Fire Department throughout his career. And whereas James K. Martin, Jr. has been recognized for outstanding public service on numerous occasions, having received the Civil Servant Award by Carmel Clay J.C.'s, being inducted in the Carmel High School Alumni Association Hall of Fame, and receiving the City of Carmel's highest award, the Range Line Road Pioneer. Whereas James K. Martin, Jr. has served as President and Vice President of the Indiana Firefighters Association, the Vice President of the Hamilton County Firefighters Association, is a founding charter member and current President of the Carmel Fire Buffs, a founder and charter member of the Firefighters Athletic Club of Carmel, and is an active member of the Indiana Fire Chiefs Association and the International Fire Chiefs Association. And whereas the Township desires to recognize and commemorate the outstanding service of James K. Martin, Jr. to the citizens of the Township and the City of Carmel. Now, therefore be it resolved, the Carmel Fire Department Training and Maintenance Facility, located at 5225 East 106th Street, Carmel, Indiana, shall be rededicated as the James K. Martin, Jr. Training and Maintenance Facility. Be it further resolved that the Township shall purchase and display an appropriate dedicatory plaque and such additional signage commemorating the dedication of the James K. Martin, Jr. Training and Maintenance Facility as shall be designed by the Township Trustee. Be it further resolved that the Board hereby expresses on behalf of the citizens of the Township its sincere appreciation and gratitude to James K. Martin, Jr. for his years of unfailing service and dedication to public safety and the citizens of the City of Carmel in Clay Township. Adopted this day. Chief Hawbush would please come to the podium.
Good evening, board members, township trustee, and citizens. My name is David Hawbush. I'm the fire chief of the Carmel Fire Department, and I'm here to say thank you. Thank you to the board. Thank you to the trustee. Thank you to the trustee's office for helping us to commemorate this new building in a well-deserved honor for Chief Martin. As many of you know, Chief Martin and the Martin family has been a staple in the Carmel Clay community for many, many, many years, more years than I've been alive, to be exact. And Chief Martin, I just want to read just a quick thing, a couple footnotes about Chief Martin and his career. Chief Martin served the Carmel Clay community as a paid career firefighter for 31 years. He served 26 as assistant fire chief in charge of maintenance. His family's had a very long history with the Carmel Fire Department prior to Jim joining the fire department. His brother and father were both volunteer members of the department. The historical significance of the Martin family goes beyond his years of service. The family had land originally located at 103rd Michigan Road. For those of you that are familiar with that area is where the new Olive Garden is, and before that it was Sunbelt Rentals. And there was a building that I had an opportunity to actually go out and see, and we captured it in our history video. And this building served as the original fire station number 2. Most people in Carmel and Clay Township, when we talk about old Station 2, most people refer to the building at 116th and Town Road, which has now been followed up with Station 2 at 106th and Shelbourne. But the original Station 2 was housed at the Martin family garage, which was out on Michigan Road. And so without the Martin family and their generosity to allow the Carmel Clay Fire Department to house their fire equipment out on Michigan Road, the fire department and public safety would look much different in Carmel and Clay Township. So with that, I just want to say thank you to Chief Martin for all of his years of service, and I want to thank the Township Board for your commitment to public safety and to making sure that the training location of the Carmel firefighters is some of the best in the state of Indiana, and also for allowing us to be able to have a dedicated facility to maintain our apparatus. And I also want to thank Township Trustee Doug Callahan, and I want to thank the Martin family, and most of all I want to thank Jim. You've been a dedicated public servant, and you still continue even today by volunteering at the Fire Buffs. The Fire Buffs is housed in the original fire headquarters over on 3rd Avenue, and I'm embarrassed to say 1st Avenue. And what's the address, Chief? 210 1st Avenue. And but that served as the original fire headquarters, and that building was built by the volunteers of this community. And so the historical significance of the Martin family and has been around since the 60s, and it continues today through Jim and his volunteerism and his commitment to public safety and public education. There are certain things that the community asks that the firefighters and the fire department do. A lot of parties, a lot of kids activities, and we simply cannot house all of those in all of our buildings. And when we're not able to do it, Chief Martin steps up and he opens the doors to the Fire Buffs station at the Donald Swales Fire Headquarters building, and he's always there with a smile on his face, and he has really helped us solidify our history in the fire service and here in Carmel Clay community. So with that, I say thank you very much.
Mr. President, can we pause just for a little bit, take a break, so we can get some pictures?
Can I suggest that you adopt the resolution so this is all official before we celebrate too much?
Oh, yeah.
May I hear a motion?
Yes, I so move.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, council.
I want to forget about it.
Sure.
You know, this is the quietest I have ever seen this man. It was a surprise, and they did a wonderful job, and the fire department did a wonderful job of keeping this strong.
You want all the firefighters up here? Yeah.
He's the type of guy, if it was midnight in the middle of winter, when somebody called in and said they had a furnace problem, he would go and help them out. That's the type of person that he was, or he is, not was. So he's still here. But one other thing, Jim, I just want to tell you, that now that we did this, his mom made the best open cream pie. Now I expect it's gonna be pie. Okay?
I get about 4 guys to kneel down, I'll never get it. I can't do this right. Okay, here we go. Oh, sure. There's on fire right now. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Moving on, I want to start off with saying Paul Bolin, our other board member's father, passed away and is unable to be here. And that is why he is absent. Al Bolin was 92?
87.
87? Was 87, and a staple of the community. Approval of minutes from May 24, 2016. That was our special board meeting.
I'd like to move that we accept the minutes of May 24th, 2016 at 5 p.m.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Minutes from May 24th, 2016, regular board meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to approve those minutes also. 6 p.m. meeting.
Second, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we're at the public comments section. I think Brian Bosma is going to say a few words.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Just in going through our procedures for this evening, it was brought to my attention that both of the board members intend not to move Resolution 2016-06-2802, which is the local public question on transportation. In fact, they've expressed that they do not intend to act upon that resolution at this meeting or the next meeting, which would take it beyond the deadline of August 1. Folks are still welcome to make public comment if you would like, but in order, we didn't want everyone to stand and say their piece and then be surprised that it didn't move. So that is not, when we come to that action item, neither one are going to move the resolution this evening.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the list of people that wish to speak, and we'd love to hear all of you. And then myself and Mary have, well, I've written a statement, I assume you have,
Yes.
addressing how we arrived at this decision. Sandy?
Would you indulge us with your statements first? Help us frame our statements, please.
Mary, or Sandy's a grant.
No, Sandy's
No,
going
she
to make
wanted
the...
to-
Oh, but you did want to talk. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, why don't you, Mr. Chairman, why don't you guys read your statements
Okay.
first?
Mass transit is an exciting opportunity this community is quite possibly primed for. The support from businesses has been overwhelming. During the course of this project, though, it has been evident that the focus has been and should be on Marion County at this time. We're excited to see what is on the horizon for them and perhaps take this pause to learn from them, regroup, and create a solid and unique plan for our residents here in Carmel. The Indy Chamber and MIBOR, all of which I've spoken with today, have committed to us that after the Marion County vote this November, they can shift their resources to educating our residents and focus on a larger, more concise plan and budgeting tools. It's for these reasons that we feel we need this extra time, looking towards a ballot vote possibly in 2018, to give the residents the education they need and the people putting this together the time to develop a more solid plan. The groundwork they've laid is excellent, but we feel we need more information at this time.
I agree with what he has said, and I want to add this to it. Just after receiving our property tax assessment increase, which I've had a lot of phone calls and emails on, which is in effect a tax increase. It's in effect another tax increase. The voters may not be receptive, we feel, to receiving another tax increase for the red line right now. Without all the information that you need to do it, we feel that more information is needed. Timing is everything, and I feel this might not be the right time for this. If Hamilton County brings up a referendum, then tax dollars can be spread over the whole county rather than just having Clay Township taxed in a smaller area. I don't feel like rushing into a decision that affects tax dollars for years. Therefore, I will not make a motion to go ahead on this tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sandy?
Well, my name is Sandy Stewart, and of course I'm here for the grant tonight. But I worked with Cindy Benedict on the Transit Committee for about 6 months, and we spent a great deal of time trying to design a system that would integrate with what Marion County is doing. I believe very strongly in transportation. My agency provides it, and over the years, in providing transportation for seniors, we've seen the need for expanded transportation, and we've had to turn so many people away who don't qualify. Before Janus started providing the transportation, and we had people trying to get to a doctor with their children, or trying to get their children to the health center for inoculations. So it is my belief that no community can be totally balanced and healthy unless every member is cared for. Not everyone has a car. Not everyone can drive a car, even if they had one. Agencies like ours can't fill every need. We can't fill all of the times. So I spent 15 years in New York and Boston before I moved back to Indiana. I grew up here, and I went through a period of shock when I realized I'm going to have to buy a car. There's no public transportation anymore. And I know that people sometimes don't come here because of the lack of transportation. So whenever it happens, I hope I'm still alive. And I understand you're being careful, and it needs to be carefully considered. But I just want to say that I think it's extremely important for the overall health of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Ed, on Lawrence Road.
Thank you for the opportunity to address the board. I do appreciate you putting this off until we have more time to study. I've been to Boston, and I've been to Washington, D.C., and the transit systems are great. I think Boston and Washington are different than Carmel and Hamilton County. I am not a proponent of the mass transit and support or subsidizing the red line. Let's let Marion County develop it. Let's look at that and see when they start making money. And I suspect you probably won't be alive, but that's just speculation. I don't think I'll be alive. I don't know if any of us in the room. I don't believe mass transit makes money, and I don't think it's going to work here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
Let's say Chris.
Yes.
Chris Sorensen?
Good evening. I am Chris Sorensen, the President and CEO of Janus Development Services, and I just wanted to speak on behalf of Hamilton County Express and just share with everyone that there is a very significant need for transportation. We are still not able to fulfill all the needs of requests that we receive, and so we just wanted to express our support for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dan? Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I try if I think I'm going to butcher it, I'd rather not.
Okay, I didn't do well in handwriting in high school. This fellow will be right. Good evening. I'm Dan Cannon with One Zone, the local chamber representing 1,300 businesses. First of all, an apology. I don't normally dress like that, but to come to a meeting, but today is our golf outing, so I've come from the golf course. I'm going to go back in just a few minutes. I think I've spoken before that One Zone as a board has supported this being on the ballot. and we'll be supportive of being on the ballot in the future when it comes forward. So we understand your position. We certainly understand all the discussions that have been had this evening, and it is important that everybody's well informed when the decision is to be made. So we are supportive today of it being on the ballot, and my guess is that one zone will be supportive in the future. We think it's important from an economic development standpoint, and also from a quality of life. So we thank you for your thoughtful consideration and appreciate the time this evening.
Thank you, Dan. Garrett?
Hello, my name is Garrett Bacon, recent graduate from Purdue, and through that experience, I've had the opportunity to travel overseas and through other cities around the country, and really had the opportunity to experience mass transit at its height, and it really always blew me away on how amazing it was. And coming back, realizing that there's not as many opportunities for mass transit here sort of disappointed me, and I'd love the opportunity to vote on it and be a big support for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Garrett. Boiler up. Tim? Paramore?
You may have noticed it took me a little time to get up here. Being in one of these things is a little tough. Mass transit, for some people, is their only alternative. I'm blessed enough to have a van. That's how I could get here, make a comment tonight. I'm unique. I'm the only one here. There's probably a reason for that. Getting around is something a lot of people take for granted. Mass transit helps people like me in a chair, and other people that can't get around very well, that can't afford a car, can't afford a $60,000 van like I have, go to the grocery store, do things on their own, and gain independence. So I appreciate your decision. It needs to be thoughtful. However, I do believe that the education that would come once it's on the ballot will allow citizens to make choices. One thing I'm sure not many people know, Medicare will pay for a wheelchair, but won't pay for any transportation. So it's nice to have a 400-pound wheelchair to get around the house, but you can't even get out of the house or down to the store unless it's right next door. So just thought I'd bring that perspective to you, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Tim, thank you for that unique perspective. Jenny Myers? Or Jerry? Sorry. Jenny or Jerry?
Jerry.
Jerry Myers?
Yeah, I'm for Grant.
What, Grant?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jerry. I should recognize that name. Judy Hagan?
Good evening, Township Board members. Thank you for the opportunity, and trustee and Mr. Bosman. Nice to see you. I am here to speak in favor of the transit opportunity before us. It's fine if it takes a little bit longer to get done, but I just wanted to express support. As a former trustee in this township, I am well aware of the transportation issues that many of our clients, your clients, have. My clients had. I worked with Sandy, I think, on one of the very first vans with INDOT and whatever that process was that went on forever. So, and the Janus folks as well. So this is a little bit to me like the park effort. And people would say, well, who's going to use the park? Nobody needs the park. Look at how fabulous our parks are today. And it's a gold medal department, full of people, well used all the time. I think in the future, transit of any kind will be well used in this community. In particular, I would like to address the topic of the dignity of work. For clients of the township, for clients of the surrounding community, The opportunity to get to a job on time is very important. Many of us volunteer for a number of organizations that purport to take care of the less fortunate. Transit is something that can address that issue directly and allow people the dignity of going to a job. And I'm talking about residents from Clay Township going out of the township, as well as the opportunities that exist for employment in this township, in this county. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Judy.
you.
Eric Morris?
Hi, I'm Eric Morris. I live here in Home Place. We moved here 4 years ago. Thank you for allowing me to basically tear up what I had written here. I do appreciate it. I really want the deliberation process. I think this was premature. I'm still going to take my 3 minutes of fame, it looks like. Say I'm not opposed to transit. I'm actually a Murray Rothbard anarcho-capitalist, so I'm actually opposed to government. But in the practical standpoint, the government general funds do fund the road system. I understand that. So, and I've used transit much in my life. My concern, and I was hoping to persuade you, is that a transit system, a mass transit system, should improve the efficiency of the government road system that is being heavily subsidized by general users. The Speaker of the House could change that and increase user fees for us and make it 100% cost basis. Well, that's his decision, not your decision. But it should improve the efficiency, so the actual total spending on roads, transit, operational costs should go down. There shouldn't really be a need, as long as good government actually occurs, which I'm very cynical about that, were to occur, within that total spending framework, mass transit can probably fit in there. It's not necessary for this 0.25% tax increase. And if it is going to prime the pump for an improving economy, if the business interests need it, shouldn't the mythical multiplier effect come into effect, and the tax revenue should increase based on the projections, right? So there shouldn't be a need for a tax increase, just prioritization by government actors within the existing system to come up with the funds currently. So that's my two statements on that. Efficiencies and actually prove that good government might exist. You made a large step with that, with your delay of this and delaying that. Finally, on Janus development, do you accept donations, volunteers, gifts? I'm going to research your organization, and I probably will actually give a check for the amount of money that this tax increase is going to cost us for the next 2 years until it's delayed. I'll give it directly. So I'm going to look at, make sure you pass Charity Navigator and all that kind of stuff. That's what this should be about, is volunteers helping other people. We don't need coercion from government to do this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
Lee Crannell?
Yes, in light of your decision tonight, I think I'll wait and keep my powder dry for another day.
Thank you, Lee. Jack Dirth?
Hi, thank you for letting us speak. We'll have the same opportunity another day, is this correct?
Certainly.
Okay. My name is Jack Dirth. I'm a political director for the Hamilton County Grassroots Conservative Organization, formerly the Tea Party of Hamilton County. We're opposed to the tax increase, and we're actually opposed to the way it's being funded. 2 years ago, we were at the Indiana State House, and we were at the summer committee meeting when there was a lot of discussion about this. We were talking about business and government partnerships. We were talking about businesses getting involved in some of the funding. The ridership would take care of part of it, and some of the tax would be ours. So originally, the bill said that businesses would pay. There would be a certain amount of it. But after the bill finally was written, we believe the chambers and so forth got together, the business developers got together and said, let's take that out. We don't want to tax the businesses, so we don't think that's very fair. So we